My name is Tim. They call me PT at G5, and so if you want to call me PT, you can. Just don't call me late for dinner. I'm not really good at that, all right? How many of y'all like to eat out there? I love to eat. Well, Andy is serving a meal to you this weekend in wisdom and information that is going to be mind boggling, and it's going to shape your tomorrows. How many of you are ready for the greatest, best, most fantastic year of your life? You ready for that? So, if I could give you some secrets of the greats who've had their greatest year, who will have their continual greatest year, Andy just hugged me. And when he did, I said, "Every time you hug me, I feel like you're wealthier." And he looked at me and smiled and he goes, "It's true." And so, how many of you know it's fun having really wealthy friends? If you don't have enough of them, get them, okay? Because I get a ride in Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and I'm looking for somebody in the audience that would like to buy a yacht because I need to float around in the intercoastal with you and eat lobster. Do you know what I'm talking about? I was out with a friend of mine the other night, and he said, "Man, get whatever you want." I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yes, get whatever you want. Don't ever tell a pastor that." Here, I said, "Can I have steak and lobster?" He goes, "Get it." So I ordered a steak and lobster, and when they brought me my steak and lobster, my lobster was missing a claw. And so I said to my waiter, "Hey," I said, "Hey, hey, hey. You want to say hey with me? Hey." I said, "Hey." I said, my lobster's missing a claw." He goes, "Yeah, yeah." I said, "Well, I want to know where it is. What happened?" He said, "Well, it must have gotten in a fight." I said, "Will you take this one back and bring me out the winner because I don't want to eat a loser lobster?" Can I get a that's right? That's right. All right. So if you talk to me, I'll do way better. Are you ready? I have 5 secrets of the greatest year ever in your life. I met Andy Albright, and I love this man. I love Jane. I got to tell you, I just am blown away at her heart and her support of not only Andy, but all of us and his amazing children, Spencer and Haley. I just love them. And man, the family just keeps growing and it's beautiful. When I first met him, I knew I admired him. He was a man of vision and heart, passion. He loved his family and he loved America and he loved freedom and he wanted to help other people win. And that lit my heart up. That lit my soul up. A lot of people want to win, but very few people want to help other people win. And that's what I loved about him. And then he introduced me to this guy named Fitz. And he said, "I want you to get to know him." So I said, "Okay." So Fitz and I get together and we start building a relationship. And he says to me one night, he goes, "Hey, I want you to go see this young evangelist with me." I said, "Okay." He said, "And we're going to sit in the front row." I said, "Okay." And so we get in this building. It has a balcony with a railing and there's a lot of people. It's packed. And so this young man starts speaking and he gets so fired up that everybody gets fired up. And a lady had jumped up in the balcony and hollered hallelujah. And when she did, she fell over the railing. And I'm sitting there looking at this young evangelist. I'm going, something's wrong. Something's not right. Finally, he said, "Hey, I've got to call a timeout. A lady has fallen over the balcony and she's hanging by her foot, keeping her from dropping. And her dress has fallen down over her face." He said, "I just want to tell you, if any of you men turn around and look, I pray that God will strike you blind." About that time, Fitz looks at me and he goes, "Goad, I'm going to risk one eye." And so that's my story about Fitz, and I'm sticking with it. And then he introduced me to this crazy guy named Paul Roberts. And then Paul Roberts, Andy says, "I want you to get you to know him." And when he came out, he didn't look like he does now. He looked a little more wilder and crazy, like he was just about to do something like kill somebody. And I was like, "Oh my God." So I only rolled down the window that much. I'm so embarrassed. I said, "Yes." He goes, "Andy would like me to get closer to you." And I went, "Okay." About that time, I'm going, "Andy Albright, I don't know if I like you or not." Anyhow, man, this man and Tamara came into my life, and I can't tell you how much I love them. And both of these men have walked across the threshold as partners. And it's one thing if a business can bless its owner, but when the business can bless the people that it brings, wow, that's amazing. My first function I ever did, I got to do for Andy Riddle and my buddy Chris Long, who I love, celebrating in heaven. And man, my heart was taken by what you do, but it was more taken by who you are. Who you are. Because who you are drives what you do. Who you are drives what you do. You need to remember this when you go to recruit. Don't only recruit for talent, recruit for heart. Because I want to tell you, we're going to bring a bunch of people in this world, and this crowd is going to explode. It's going to get bigger and bigger. You say, Tim, why is it going to get bigger and bigger? Because this is exactly what the whole world needs. How does it feel to have what the whole world needs? And if you know that, if you know it in your soul, get ready, because you're about to do something so incredible that this world needs, and it needs hope. Can I get a yeah? That's right there. It needs hope. How many of you have ever needed hope in your life? So if you're gonna have your best year ever, here's number one. Are you ready? Decide, make a choice right now, say, I will never stop growing. I will never stop growing. I want you to write that down, please. Punch your neighbor and tell him, you need this. You need this. I got to tell you, in your life, you're always growing into something and you're growing out of something. How many of you need to grow out of something? You need to leave your yesterdays behind. You need to leave the voices of the past, the regrets, the bitterness, the resentment, the unforgiveness, the stuff that you get offended over. How many of you know it's time for me to grow out of that and grow up into something that's way beyond that so I can have my best year ever? Am I doing okay? Is that helping anybody? Now see, I know what you're saying to me right now, Tim. I know this. And I know you know this. But knowing gets you nothing. You can know all you want. The world is full of knowledge. You can Google anything, and we know everything on the internet is absolutely true. But if you want information, you can get it. But I want to encourage you to move past just getting knowledge and start grabbing wisdom inside of you, because wisdom is the main thing. Where you are right now and where you want to be is a wisdom thing. It's a wisdom thing. So I want to ask you, to make your trip to success, you're going to have to keep growing. So my name's PT. I've got a question for you. What are 5 areas in your life that you need to change? You need to change in your relationships. Maybe it's how you talk to people. Maybe it's how you treat people. Let me tell you something you know right now that I'm going to remind you of it. Okay, can I do it? You going to give me, you let me do it? People never remember what you say, but they do remember how you made them. Wow. You have got to know that you are so powerful, not because of what you say, but because of how you can make somebody. Have you ever tried to add value to somebody while they devalue you? Oh, think about it. Have you ever tried to love somebody while they didn't love you? Have you ever tried to encourage somebody while they tried to discourage you? I just want to encourage you right now to just say these words to yourself. I am growing. I am growing. Listen, the greatest single miracle in all the world is I can be tomorrow what I am not today. You are not chained to your yesterdays. You're not chained to yesterday's mistakes. You're not even chained to yesterday's successes. How many of you know that your tomorrow is going to be better than your yesterday because you have decided, I'm going to grow. I'm going to grow. In your heart, have you really decided? You see, we really don't have control over anybody else's growth. Some of you, you're going to get mad at me right now, but I'm going to do it. All right? Some of you tell me if my wife would change, then I would change. And I have a Greek word for that, baloney. And I just want to tell you that. Be the change that you want in this world. Some of you ladies want your husbands to change. I'm not saying they don't need to change. But don't wait for them to change for you to change. Why would you give that kind of power to somebody else in your life? Don't do it. Decide today. I've got a dream, I've got a vision, I've got a passion, I've got a mission. And I'm going to grow into it. I'm going to grow into it. I really am. Yeah, thank you very much. So, you have to grow past the opinions of other people. You've got to let go of yesterday's pain, yesterday's brokenness, yesterday's disappointments. You got to grow past the anger and the fear and the defeat. And right now, you got to step into your purpose. That's going to take growth. It's going to take growth. So I want to encourage you to get beyond information and get wisdom. And the only way for you to improve the quality of your life is for you to grow personally. The only way for you to improve the quality of your life is for you to grow personally. The only way for you to grow your family is for you to grow personally. The only way for you to grow your recruiting is for you to grow personally. The only way for you to grow in your sales is for you to grow personally. The only way in your life for you to grow to a better, more powerful, more life-changing, more difference maker in this world is to grow personally. And by the way, right now, if you want to know about PT, I am growing more now than I ever have in my entire life. So, second thing, are you ready? Do it now. Start right now. Don't put off. Someday is no day. What are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? It counts. Whatever you're not doing that you should be doing, you're later going to regret it. So I'm just going to encourage you right now. Right now. Right now. Say it. Right now. Don't wait till after the function. Start right now. Say, I'm going to change this in my life. Procrastination is the assassination of all motivation. Can I get a yeah? You know what I'm talking about. You fight that every week of your life. You've got a goal, you've got a dream, you've got a vision, and the next thing you get distracted. And distraction, literally, when you look up the meaning of it, it was an old ancient technique to punish and hurt people. They would literally put them in a machine and stretch their arms and their legs to the point where they were in so much pain. Distraction. Can I ask you a question? In your life right now, where are you letting the urgent get in front of the important? Where are you right now letting the unimportant take the priority of your life of what matters most? I want to encourage you. Move beyond your yesterdays. Get started right now. Invest in your education. Invest in your life. Invest in your personal growth. There are two ways to learn in life: mistakes or mentors. And I want to encourage you today not to be ashamed or afraid to get a mentor in your life. That's what I love about this system that Andy Albright has put together. It mentors you if you will get in the books, the downloads. Hey, I am old enough to remember a cassette tape. Some of you all don't know that. I live in Florida now, but we used to use cassette tapes to get the snow and the ice off of our front windshield when I lived in Ohio. Anybody relate to what I'm talking about? Oh, yeah, you can't do that with a download. And trust me, I know it's not real good for an iPhone. So I just want to remind you of that. Every person who has grown and is growing right now started somewhere. Where will it be in your life that you put a flag in the ground and say, this is it? You know what I love about Andy's leaders? I love that they're growing. I love that Mike and Noel are growing. I love that Joe Dukes is growing. I love that Diane Lampy is such a hunger, crazy person for growth. Here's why that's so important. Can I tell you this? You teach what you know, but you reproduce what you are. Don't expect people to do what you're not setting the example to do. Right now, the world is screaming. It's dying for an example. That's why the world needs a Fitz. It needs a Paul Roberts. It needs a Tamara. It needs a Heather. It needs you. And so if I could, I would come to your seat and I would beg you, do not delay your moment to get started. Start right now and say, this is my moment. Set your priority and say, I'm going to do it. Number 3, are you ready for 3? I got to move fast. 3, stay humble and be teachable. Stay humble and be teachable. Wow. It is such a discouragement in my life to see people who are on fire and they're growing and they're hungry and they're students all of a sudden let arrogance replace that humble spirit to learn and grow. I've been blessed in my life to sit at front row seats with the top performing leaders in the world. Not only top performing leaders, but the top performing trainers. Zig Ziglar, when I was 21, changed my life forever when he said to me, Tim, if you'll help enough other people get what they want in life, you can have what you want in life. That's an act of humility. But let me tell you what I noticed about these thought leaders. These thought leaders, you could start naming them, that have written books that you love, that you listen to. Can I tell you what you need to know about them? While they're writing books and producing answers for so many people, I watch them carry a notebook and take more notes than anybody else. Oh my gosh, be careful, be careful. I'm going to beg you right now, be careful not to get in the position where you think you know it all. When somebody's talking, I promise you, I'm going to be taking notes. Why? Because they're experiencing something, living something, understanding something that I never knew about. Your story is so amazing. The fact that you're here this weekend. If you're brand new, welcome to the team. Welcome to the family. If you've been here a while, welcome back. If you're helping bring the new people, can I tell you, welcome again and again and again. We are humbled at your heart and your passion and your desire to stay humble and remain teachable. Let me tell you this. You want to know what a myth is? A myth is that it's a growing organization. A myth is that's a growing company. A myth is that's a growing church. It's a myth. Let me tell you what it is. It's people who have decided to grow. And because they grow, everything around them grows. That's why I love the Carey so much. Jason and Tani, thank you for being people that are hungry and willing to grow. Can I get a, yeah, that's right there. Yeah, I'm proud of you for being here, sitting here today on a Friday, sharpening the axe. And here's what the book I read says. As stone sharpens stone, people sharpen people. Oh man, I get in your presence and I get better. Even people I'm coaching, I get better around them. Because how many of you know sometimes people you coach will do things better than you can do it? That's why you don't understand. Your smile, your heart, your touch, your words, the way you walk in and out of this building, how you sit in your chair is only everything. Why? Because the world needs an example of somebody that is full of humility. When you stop growing, I guarantee you, you're going to stop leading. I got to say it. Nothing breaks my heart more when an organization outgrows its leader. There's nothing that breaks my heart more than when a family outgrows its leader. There's nothing worse than being married to somebody who one is growing and the other one is stopped. Whose heart is full of desire and humility. I just want to ask and invite, will you remain teachable? For 2022, will you just remain teachable? Don't fight the teacher. One of my favorite proverbs is a Chinese proverb that says, when the teacher is ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So I want you to understand, the greatest obstacle to growth is not ignorance. I want you to hear me. The greatest obstacle to growth is not ignorance. It's knowledge. I have 2 children. You'll get to meet them Sunday morning. My whole life, I never wanted to train my children in yesterday's thinking to handle tomorrow's challenge. Right now, if you're going to be a leader, if you're going to get your dreams, if your life is going to be better, if this is going to be your greatest year, you cannot be thinking, I know it all. And we cannot build our future on yesterday's ideas. The fourth one is I beg you to stay focused. What should I focus on? Self-growth, not self-fulfillment. Self-growth, not self-fulfillment. I see so many people right now trading in their calling for comfort. I have a lot of friends in my life that right now I'm walking with. And to be very frank with you, can I just be open with you and can I pour my heart to you? My heart is broken because a lot of them are not finishing very well. Do you know that most accidents happen within 12 miles to where somebody lived? I know about it. My father had a brain aneurysm, and he blacked out 12 miles from our home, and in that accident, my mother was tragically killed. I'm not asking you to feel sorry for me. I'm telling you, it's finishing that matters. A lot of people get started, don't they? You're getting people started all the time. It's not the getting started, it's the finishing. And finishing takes character because how many of you know if you're going to finish, you're going to walk through some pain and sorrow and setbacks and trials and tests? Can I get a witness in here? It's not all going to be pretty. Not every call you make is going to work. Not every sale you make is going to stick. Do I understand you? But can I tell you? You just keep finishing. Finishing. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. So I want to tell you, if you're going to live life at a higher level, you got to understand you cannot give up your purpose for pleasure. I'm just begging you to decide today that 2022, my mother, before I would go out and play, she would always say to me very quickly, she would say, son, make sure you do your chores before you go play. How many of you know, as a little boy, that didn't sound that great? Because I liked to play. Until I got home late, and my mom said, son, did you get that done? And I would say, Mom, and she'd go, well, if you think you're going to bed without getting it done, you smoked and inhaled. And I just want to let you know, as your mother, I love you too much to allow you not to have the discipline of finishing. I want to beg you right now. My name's PT. I want to beg you. Andy and Jane have set up a system. We have set up a team. We've set up a future. Can I tell you? Finish. 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 And by the way, I know you're on your way to partner, but I will just tell you, I don't think partner is finishing. Sorry. I think it's a starting point for the next level of making a difference that you never dreamed was possible. Can I tell you, you want to leverage every ounce of victory that you've had in your life to create victories in your own life, but victories for other people. My dream for every single one of you who bought a ticket or sitting in a chair that work at this company, I want you to have victories. Victories. What is the victory that you're desperate? What is the victory that you're desperate? You see, in my world, if you will allow me, my customer is very clear. My customer is very, very clear. My customer is lost, broken, hurting, confused people. And I get to deliver hope to those lives. I want to beg you, grow. Make that your goal. Focus on that. Warren Buffett and Bill Gates were eating, and somebody was sitting beside of them, and they finally reached over and said, I know you two men are like some of the richest in the world. can I ask you one single thing that if I could put it in my life, what would you tell me to do? And they both looked and said at the same time, focus. Focus. More failure and lack of success happens from broken focus than any other single thing. The fifth one is don't get satisfied. Don't get satisfied. Don't get satisfied. About 10 years ago, my life, honestly, I could have went and I would tell my wife, Gay, I'm done. I'm going to go sit on an island and I'm going to forget it. And she would look at me and go, you would last about a day. Life is not about taking it easy. Oh, I believe in rest. I believe in rebuilding your life. But I believe right now, if you keep preaching and you stay hungry, and if you'll watch out for complacency, I believe if you don't get caught up in your own press clippings, and if you don't trade in comfort for calling, you're going to find your greatest victory. I wake up right now, honestly, I can't believe my life. I'm living my dream. And by the way, I've rebooted my career 3 times in my lifetime. I built an organization, 500 employees, 5,000 volunteers, 180 nations. We gave away $300 million a year. I built that on my second gift, which is exhortation. I love to encourage. Hey, Paul, you got this. Hey, Riddle, you got this. Hey, Diane, you got this. Hey, Jason and Tony, you got this. Jason and Ogle, you got this. Big Mike, you got this. All around this room, all of you probably are going to get a call from me telling you that you got this. But I will tell you right now, my greatest accomplishments, my greatest value adds have not happened. And I want to be there. Listen, you may think I'm nuts, and you may be wondering why this guy gets up here in this suit with these crazy Terry Edwards glasses. I just want to be as cool as Terry when I grow up. That's all I want to be. Until you're standing on this stage as a partner, my work is not done. We've got lives to change. We've got people to touch. We've got grounds to take. Here's what I tell you, last 2 points, and then I'm going to introduce a very special couple. Planes, they tell me, are safer on the ground, but if they stay on the ground, they rust out and wear out. Because why? They're not doing what they were intended. Ships are way better in a harbor, safer, but they wear out and rust out so much faster. My closing statement to you, 2022 is going to be your greatest year, because you're no longer going to stay on the ground and you're never going to stay in a safe place. You're going to move out because you dream the impossible dream. You fight the unfightable foe. You go when your body is weary. Why? To reach the impossible dream. Let me tell you the definition of hell. The definition of hell is one day meeting the person you could have been. And you're in the environment, you're in the right place with the right people at the right time who care about you, who will give you the information, who will help you stand when you feel like you're going to fall, that will encourage you when you feel discouraged. But you have got to decide that the rest of my life is going to be the best of my life.